Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll get started in a minute. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, Updates from the Field, Central Asia Institute's work in Pakistan. Thank you so much for coming and joining us today. My name is Silai Karzai, and I am the Communications Manager for Central Asia Institute. We'll get started in a moment, but before we do that, I just want to share some brief housekeeping announcements. So please use the Q&A box to ask any questions you may have. The Q&A box should be appearing at the bottom of your Zoom window. Webinar participants will be muted and off camera for the entire event, but you can ask questions at any time during the event, and we'll get to those at the end. But before we get started, we'd like to build on our knowledge together with a short survey. So I'll pass the mic over to my colleague, Bella.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Like Silai said, my name is Bella Pick. I am the Communications Associate here at Central Asia Institute. And before we get started with Alice's presentation, we have a fun knowledge test to gauge everyone's baseline knowledge of Pakistan. So if you'd like to participate, please do so when the quiz box appears on your screen. From there, you'll be able to see and answer all 5 questions. We will reveal the answers afterwards, and we will give everyone 60 seconds to answer all 5 questions. So I will pull that up right now, and you should be able to see those 5 questions. All right, thank you everyone for participating. It looks like everyone has answered, and I will share these results with you all. So for question number 1, how many children are out of school in Pakistan? The correct answer was 39% of children are out of school in Pakistan. Moving on to question number 2, what percentage of out of school children are girls? The correct answer for that one was the middle choice, 53% of the school population consists of girls. Moving on to question number 3, what is the literacy rate for youth females 15 to 24 years of age compared to youth males in Pakistan? The correct answer for this one was 65% literate girls versus 80% literate boys. The fourth question was, where does Pakistan rank on the Gender Equity Index? And that correct answer, unfortunately, was 145th out of 146th countries. So moving on finally to our last question, how much do women earn for every $1 men make in Pakistan? And the correct answer for that was the middle choice. Women earn 82 cents compared to every $1 men earn. So thank you so much to everyone that participated. We hope this sparked your curiosity and gave you a better understanding of your prior knowledge about Pakistan. And now I will hand it back off to our host, Silai. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bella, and thank you again to everybody for participating in our knowledge survey. So before we actually get started with Alice's presentation and updates from Pakistan, we'd like to just go over briefly the agenda for today and the objectives of the webinar. So first we'll hear from one of our esteemed board members, Adnan Ahmed, and then we'll hear from Alice. And finally, we'll conclude with a Q&A at the end. And again, the purpose of this webinar is to showcase our updates from Pakistan. So right now, I'd like to introduce Adnan Ahmed. Adnan Ahmed currently serves as treasurer of the Central Asia Institute Board of Directors and has been a member since 2021. A 3-time CEO, he brings with him over 25 years of experience leading teams at Fortune 500 companies and startups to create transformational growth. He is currently the Executive Vice President of Corporate Development at AlphaSense, an AI-powered market intelligence platform. Please join me in welcoming Adnan Ahmed.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, morning, wherever you are. Hopefully all of you can hear me. Welcome to this event. And again, really thank you for your support and for being here today to hear about the updates from the field from Alice. As Celine mentioned, I have been a board member of Central Asia Institute for last 3 years. But really, I have been a supporter and a donor for over 15 years. So I've been involved with CAI for a long time. And you know, I was told to say a few things about why I choose to give my time and money to CAI. And it's really 2 big reasons. One is that I'm a passionate believer in CAI's mission, which is to empower children, especially girls, through education in these remote and marginalized areas of the world, so that they can create a better future for themselves and others in their communities. I'm a father of 2 girls, and I live in New Jersey, and I feel blessed that in this country they have so many opportunities available to them. And I strongly believe that every child, no matter where they are in the world, should really have a similar future full of hope and opportunity. So I think that's a big overarching reason. The second big reason for my involvement with Central Asia Institute is really the dedication and commitment of the Central Asia Institute team. In my 15 years as donor and 3 years as board member, the team members that I have met and worked with at CAI are really some of the most inspirational and most committed people that I've ever met. Some of them work in these volatile and sometimes hostile regions of the world at great risk to their personal lives in support of this cause. You know, so it's a small but mighty team, and I'm really proud to serve alongside them. And as you can see from the makeup of this team, it's a really diverse team. There are people from all around the world, and you know, from this country, from other countries, And because really the mission transcends any kind of national, ethnic, religious boundaries. It's about children. And it's about the common humanity amongst all of us that binds us in this mission. So those are the two big reasons why I love and support this organization. And so without further ado, let me pass it back to Silai. Once again, thank you for being here, for your support, and I'll be around at the end to take any questions.
Thank you so much, Adnan, for your generous commentary. So I would like to now, I'm really excited to introduce Alice Thomas, Executive Director of Central Asia Institute. Alice has 2 decades of experience in international and humanitarian affairs. She lived in Uzbekistan, from where she led the American Bar Association's international initiatives. She now leads the Central Asia Institute team in Bozeman, Montana, where she's based. And she's had the opportunity to travel to the region regularly. And she's also equally excited to share her insights from her recent field trip to Pakistan. Please join me in welcoming Alice.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really excited to be sharing with you highlights from my recent trip to Pakistan. I make this trip every year, and I love to go because I get to see firsthand the amazing work that all of you make possible. So I wish I actually could have just taken you all along with me, because it's amazing to be able to meet the students, the teachers, parents, community members, and just hear from them about how the work we do really changes their life and why it's so important to them. And just to meet amazing people and be in an incredibly stunning part of the world. So I wish I could take you with me, but since I can't, you're going to have to watch my slides instead. So before we get started, and we can go to the next slide and the next slide, thanks. So many of you on this call today have been supporters of CAI for years, and you're well acquainted with our work, but some of you are new. So I just wanted the opportunity to tell you a little bit about our mission and our vision. Since 1996, our mission has been to advance access to education and livelihood skills, especially for girls and women in remote and mountainous regions of Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Tajikistan. Our vision is a world where women and girls have the education and skills to unlock their full potential and contribute to a better, brighter future for themselves, their families, their communities, and their countries. Our tagline is "Educate a Girl, Change the World," because we believe in the transformative power of girls' education to solve, many of the largest problems in the world. Whether it's, poverty or, poor health care or conflict. Educated girls and women are key to solving many of these big global crises. I wanted to start out and just to put our work in context in Pakistan. So I'm going to share some just very brief background on the country and the challenges. The Indus River Valley civilization, it's one of the oldest civilizations in the world, and it dates back more than 5,000 years. Pakistan as a country was founded in 1947 on the partition of British India into Muslim Pakistan and largely Hindu India. And then in 1971, what was East Pakistan then became Bangladesh. What's important to note about Pakistan is, can you go up? Yeah, thank you. Is that while the territory of the country is about twice the size of California, it happens to be the 5th most populous country in the world. And not only does it have a very large population, especially considering its landmass, but it's also one of the youngest countries in the world. So 36% of the population is under the age of 15. Next slide, please. While the country has made incredible progress in terms of economic development, it's still considered a lower middle income country. And the poverty rate is still above 25%. So a quarter of the people in Pakistan live in poverty. As you heard and while you learned during our quiz, there is a very, very large number of out-of-school children in Pakistan. And that number is now at 32.5 million Pakistani children are not in school. More than half of those are girls. And when you get to rural areas of the country and at the secondary level, actually those numbers climb. And in some areas of Pakistan, 80 to 90% of girls are not in school. And because the country is so young, the large number of out-of-school children is really going to create a big challenge as the country moves forward and as it really works to develop. Also contributing to its challenges are the fact that it has not achieved. I mean, no country has achieved gender equality, but Pakistan happens to rank really down at the bottom of this global gender gap report that's prepared by the World Economic Forum. And only 25% of Pakistan's women work. And again, if the country is going to, beat poverty, it's going to need to work to advance gender equity, and women are going to have to be part of the workforce. Next slide, please. Well, so where do we work? Central Asia Institute got its start, as I said, back in 1996. And we work up in northern Pakistan. And you can see, I'm a lover of maps. You can see on this map that we work in Gilgit-Baltistan, which is in the country's very far north, bordering China, Kashmir, which is a disputed area between Pakistan and India, and then Afghanistan, and then which has a small landmass that juts out there too. Next slide. So what can I say about Gilgit-Baltistan? Well, it is home to the two highest mountain ranges in the world, the Himalayas and the Karakoram. This makes it home to some of the tallest mountains in the world. The most famous is probably K2, which is the world's second tallest mountain. But then many of you have probably also heard of Nanga Parbat. It's the 9th tallest peak in the world. Many mountain climbers have struggled to scale these peaks. And you can see on the map on the right just how kind of those mountains spread across the area where CAI works, which is in Gilgit-Baltistan. Next slide. So these are pictures actually that I took, and just to give you an idea of the scale, the one of K2 on the left, which is 28,250 feet tall, I took from the plane. And you can see it jutting up there in the distance. On the right, you can see Nanga Parbat, and that photo was actually taken from the window of one of the schools that CAI supports. And I was visiting there because actually one of our donors just contributed some money to fix up that school. And I happened to visit, and I looked out the window, and that's what I was looking at, was Nanga Parbat. So it's amazing because you can really see it from all the way around. And it's over almost 27,000 feet. Rakaposhi seems small at 25.5 thousand feet. It's the 27th tallest peak in the world. But it is the only peak in the world that ascends from summit to base for 6,000 meters uninterrupted. As you look at these peaks, you should keep in mind that the tallest peak in North America is Denali in Alaska, and that is just over 20,000 feet. So these are some very, very tall mountains. In October, I made my annual trip to Pakistan. This is some of the places that I visited. As the crow flies, actually, these places are not very far apart. But as you just saw from some of those photos, getting from one place to the other can take a very, very long time. And it's very mountainous. a lot of these communities are just nestled among these mountains. And then the road conditions also tend to be really poor because of the constant avalanches and rock slides. And even though they work constantly to update the roads, you'll be driving along and you'll invariably have to slow down for road outages. But that's not even all the places I visited, but those are just some of them. So what do we do? Well, our main goal is to provide access to education, especially for girls. And one of the main strategies we have for achieving that is we provide full support to 44 community schools right now. Some of these are schools that CAI built back in the day. There are more than 7,000 children enrolled in these schools, and most are girls. And we also support salaries and training for 360 teachers. The role of the role that the community schools play in this part of Pakistan is that they've been situated in places where these communities don't have access to a government school located nearby for their children to attend. We really work to provide a safe and healthy learning environment for these children to thrive. And we do that in a couple of ways. We invest in school infrastructure, including repairs, which are constantly required because these are very long, cold, brutal winters up in northern Pakistan. And then we are adding new furniture, heating systems, and electricity and the like. A very important goal that we have is to make sure that all of our schools have gender segregated toilets and clean drinking water. And as you may know, if teenage girls don't have access to a safe restroom, they often won't go to school. And so for teenage girls in this part of the world, having access to a gender segregated toilet doesn't always happen, and it certainly doesn't happen in schools. So it's very important as a strategy for getting girls to stay in school as they get into their teens. We add classrooms as well, and over the years, these schools the student population has grown, the enrollment, and so we've had to add classrooms to reduce overcrowding and also to make sure that there is a low teacher to student ratio. We also provide scholarships for girls, and in last year we provided scholarships for over 100 students, and over 60 were girls. Our second main goal through these schools is to improve the quality of education that children receive. And one of the main ways that we do that is we do training for teachers. Everybody on this call knows that what a difference a teacher can make in your learning outcome in that subject. And we all have, many of you are educators, but also for the rest of us, we know how much we value really good teachers. So we try to invest a lot in our teachers. Recently, we've put a lot of focus on STEM education. And this has been really popular with the kids. In this photograph, you can see two children. This female student on the left, she was demonstrating her science project for me, and you can see that in the background. And then this young man was demonstrating he had made a hydro pump, and he was showing me that. So they're very proud of that. Another strategy we've been using is e-learning, and this is where we provide a LED screen, like a television, right in the classroom, and teachers can preload a lesson plan onto a flash drive and then bring it to school and then show the lesson during class. And we use these e-learning systems, especially for high school students who are learning trickier subjects like chemistry, where the teacher may not have a lab or may not have as much knowledge to teach chemistry. So she will be, or he will be, showing a lesson plan and on this online platform. We also use them at the preschool level, where children are very much visual learners, and they learn by hearing. And so just like Sesame Street or Electric Company, the teacher will show, 3 or 5 minutes of the alphabet, and then the children will repeat it. And it's really fun to see these classrooms in action. We also have been providing computer labs to the schools, and this year we'll be doing some teacher training on computers and computer education. And we do libraries, and then we also do library vans. And this is a picture of one of our 2 library vans that we have. These little vans, they go over and around and through these mountain ranges to communities where the school doesn't have a library, and they let children take out the books. They're all staffed by an educator who will often do some activity with the children. In this photograph, the children were doing a little like an art project, but then they can take out books, and then the van will come back by maybe a month later or so, and then they return the books. So it's really a wonderful project, and it's been hugely successful. We also have a big focus now on early childhood development, which, as you probably know, is preschool. So these are children under 5. Right now we have we have 1,300 children enrolled in preschool. Like in the US, preschool is very popular with parents because parents like to go have a place where they can put their young child during part of the day while they do other things. But they also have other benefits. And one of these big benefits is that what will happen in these communities is that parents will enroll their girls in preschool, and then they'll keep them in school. So if you can get children into preschool, they're more likely to stay in school. And this is particularly true for girls, we're seeing. The other really important thing, again, many of you may know that 90% of a child's brain development happens before the age of 5. So if you can intervene at this young age, it really affects brain development in a positive way for the child's learning outcomes while they're in school, and then even studies have shown it can affect their life outcomes. Well, we don't just do education for children. We also provide job opportunities and really education opportunities for women and youth. One program that we've been running these past few years is our women's fruit, we call it Fruit Processing Project. These women, who you can see in the picture, I'm standing with them, they participated in a project where they learned how to dry and process fruit and also nuts. And they've made nuts and jams and dried fruit. You can see some of the pictures of their products. So we get a professional trainer in them and to teach them how to professionally process these products, package them, and then sell them in the marketplace. And what's neat about this project is that it doesn't require a huge investment because people in this part of Pakistan have fruit trees and have nut trees on their properties. And they usually, just like you would have an apple tree in your backyard, they may eat the fruit and use it for their household, but they're not necessarily making an income out of it. This project has changed that, and by providing this training to women, we've seen household income jump up, and on average, the income of these households is increasing. It's basically doubling on average. We did 91 women were trained last year, and on average, the household income doubled. It's also an incredibly important way to increase their self-confidence, their self-esteem, both within their household, but also within their community. So most of the women you see in this picture have little to no formal education. They've never earned an income for their work. So I know that none of them are smiling, but they are very happy and they really love this project. It's been enormously popular. We also provide IT training for youth, and these are men and women who are young adults. We found that web design and coding are 2 potential job sectors where, in this part of Pakistan, where it's really hard to find jobs for youth, that these have been promising, and they've been very popular as well. And just to sum up this slide, I mean, we cannot meet the demand for these two projects alone, even in, remote Gilgit-Baltistan. There's just, these projects have been hugely successful. Next slide, please. Thanks. So, that's just a very brief overview, and I just want to thank you again. None of this would be possible without the very generous and committed support with so many of you. But rather than hear that from me, I'm going to share a little message from my visit. The videos was video that I took, so it's not great, but bear with me.
Banana orange और इसके रिलेटेड और इनमें से जो आपको पसंद हो ना
चलो बनाओ शाबाश बना
You have to draw on slate your favorite fruit कौन सा बनाए स्कूल की हिफाजत करनी चाहिए और अपनी सफाई का
थैंक यू सेंट्रल एशिया
Thank you. Thanks for showing that. I think now, if everybody can see and hear me, I'm going to take some questions from the chat box. So here, let me go to, I see we have quite a few questions. Wonderful, wonderful to hear from everyone. And please, again, if you have other questions, please do just type them in. I'll get to as many as I can. The first question was, what does it cost for children to come to school? I'm surprised they need scholarships. That's a good question. Where we're providing scholarships is that, so the schools that CAI supports provide basically 100% support for children. So they are pretty much 99% cost free. And we also provide school supplies and other books and other things, sometimes uniforms, things that sometimes will be a barrier for children to go to school. The scholarships are for children as they get a little older, when not all of our schools will go up through 10th grade or 12th grade. So if a girl is in a community where she goes to a CAI school up through 8th grade, but then she wants to go to high school, she needs to go to a government high school or another private school. And there are often costs associated with that. And they can be, again, just for books and school supplies, or sometimes these schools charge a fee. So that's what they need scholarships for. For our community schools, they really are, in this part of Pakistan, the populations are centered around little villages. So there's usually no transportation involved. Usually children walk to school. Anne has asked a question about whether this area has internet access. Some of the bigger towns do. So Skardu and Gilgit, which are, one is the center of Baltistan, the other of Gilgit, they have internet access. One of the main problems is that the electricity, it constantly goes out. So there are constantly electricity outages in Pakistan. So if you have internet, you're going to lose it 3 or 4 times a day, just because the electricity goes out. In remote areas where many of our schools are located, there is no internet access. That's why these e-learning programs have been popular, because the teacher will download the lessons, back in the town where she has access to the online platform, and then she'll have that lesson, and then she'll take it to the school, and it's on a USB flash drive. So the school, whether or not the internet is on in that school, it won't matter. Starlink is supposed to come to Pakistan. We shall see what happens in the future, but I know they are on the list of countries that's supposed to get Starlink, and that could substantially help. All right, so I have a question from Oh, from Gordon here. How can you, quote, nudge local and federal government to better support the areas where CAI works in the rest of the country? That's a tough question. I might have to kick it back to Adnan. I mean, I would say that that's not really what we as a U.S. organization tries to do. It's not really the role that Central Asia Institute plays. But I know there are other organizations, particularly Pakistani organizations, that do a lot of advocacy to their own government to do that, both in Gilgit-Baltistan and throughout the country. But Adnan, do you want to say anything about that? Hopefully we can get Adnan back on.
My video is blocked. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you, yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think, as you said, Alice, we are a US-based organization. We, while the government, local governments sometimes have their own programs, sometimes they don't. Our goal is to work in compliance with local laws and regulations, but really we don't, we're not working in conjunction with the governments. We are trying to fill the gaps where we see it. We are trying to stay true to our mission. Usually these are the places, like I said, they're more marginalized, they're more remote. These are the children I'd say the world forgot. Which is why this work is so crucial, because we are the only lifeline many times in these regions for these kids.
That's great. All right, so the questions are coming in fast and hard. I'm going to take a question here from Catherine. Do I feel safe traveling there? Also, in your photos, why are some girls wearing headscarves and others are not? That's a good question. So I actually do feel safe traveling there in a relative way. I feel safer than I do traveling to other parts of Pakistan that are less safe. This is a very safe part of Pakistan in terms of there's a lot of tourism there. There's a lot of people that come to see, to climb, that are climbers or hikers. It's also has a large military presence because we're very close to the Kashmiri border and there's a large military presence. So I feel very safe in terms of my personal security and, like crime or anything like that. I feel unsafe when I travel on the roads. The roads, it's just like, you're traveling in very, very high mountain highways that don't have guardrails and the roads are bad. And that's what tends to make me nervous. So I have to kind of blindfold myself sometimes when I'm driving along. In the photos, I would say that so a lot of it has to do with I would say the age of the girl. When girls get a little older, they tend to be more modest. It also could be the village, the specific to the village that they're from. If they're from a specific district or village that tends to be more conservative, they tend to cover up more. They feel more comfortable when they're covering their heads. So that's a good question. We have Kathy now, who's asked what opportunities are available for students after they graduate from high school. A lot of children that get through high school will leave Gilgit-Baltistan if they can't find local opportunities. So there is a pretty high, it's common for children to go outside of Gilgit-Baltistan for any kind of higher education. There are very few colleges and no big universities per se. So that's a main pull. And then many of those youth will stay, they'll go to Islamabad or Karachi or Lahore and work there. The other thing is that in where we work, we've learned that many of the both female and male teachers are actually went to that CAI school. So if you were able to continue your education, a lot of them go back and they're teachers. And And then the other professions are, there's a big tourism industry, so people are involved in tourism. And then there are, the rest of the sectors are relatively small. They don't have any big, huge industries. It's not a big export region or anything like that. So there are limited economic opportunities. And then Idris, hello, thank you for joining. Idris asks, are these schools solely run by donations? What kind of donations help a lot? Such as big donations from institutions or organizations or individual small donations. These schools are 100% run by donations from donations. So we don't have any, the government may donate certain things to our schools, the Pakistani government, but largely they are run by CAI. And our donors are largely individuals like you on the call. We have some institutional donors that are foundations that are really small family foundations. We don't have any big government grants, and right now that's obviously a blessing. So they are run on what are largely small donations from all of you. So thank you. And then here I see another question for Adnan. So Adnan, you are from Pakistan. Why is it that you came to the United States to be educated?
Yes. Well, again, I was more blessed. I was in a city in Karachi. I went through my primary and secondary education there. But in terms of further opportunities to for academic excellence to really be all you can be, I think Pakistan lacks the resources, the infrastructure, the educational infrastructure, the opportunities that are available in the U.S. I think that was really, in terms of taking that step and pursuing, excellence, and U.S. had the best academic institutions. That's what drew me, and really coming over here, it was the land of opportunity where all your efforts would be rewarded if you just put your time and effort into it, which I can say is the same case in Pakistan and some of these regions where people are really a victim of their circumstances or their locations, and despite someone being hardworking, or the opportunities just don't exist. So I feel, again, that's one of the big reasons I am passionate about this cause. Like I said, because I've seen the difference this makes, and we are all productive, grateful members of the community here, and we've now built a life here, and everyone around the world really deserves that shot and that opportunity.
Here's a question from Dan. Very good question. You've talked about the successes, and I'm sure there are many, but working in remote areas of Pakistan, like you do, also brings many challenges. Can you talk about a few of the challenges you're dealing with and how you try to deal with them? Yeah, and there are a lot of challenges. I mean, some are, not or cannot be overcome. Obviously, one of the biggest challenges to working there is just how remote these communities are, and it takes hours. And even for our partner that works over there, the staff that works over there, they spend so much time in the car just going. Some days just to visit one school, they'll have to drive 5 hours or 6 hours just there and back. So that is something that obviously we can't overcome mountains, but it does make it challenging. I would say some of the other challenges, just looking at my, experience versus other countries, is, there is a lot of, like the US, there's just a lot of government bureaucracy, and because we're in an area that's close to the Kashmiri border, there's extra sensitivities from the government. So you need a lot of permissions to travel around, and you need permissions when we send photographers, and we send auditors over there, all kinds of people that do monitoring and documenting our work. Sometimes the government bureaucracy, even to get permission to do the programs, can take a long time, and that's not unique to Pakistan. It just can be a challenge that's hard to overcome. And then I would say that the biggest challenge is, one of the reasons why we're there is that, it is a patriarchal society. So, and that's reflected in its ranking on the Gender Equality Index. And that has repercussions in everything we do. I mean, everything from, obviously the challenges so for women that we're trying to help through this fruit program, they're earning the income. And what we're trying to learn now is, well, okay, how much do they control the income? Because it's not, they may have to hand it over to their husband. And so we're starting to do surveys around whether they have control over that income, which of course is incredibly important to their own, obviously self-esteem, and also just women, gender equity in general, is how do you make sure that they can, have equal access to the income that they themselves earn. It has challenges for our team here. So I'll give you a funny example that we talk about. Sometimes we'll ask from video from the field because we want to see, a project for girls, that we're doing. The video that will come back is a bunch of men talking about the project, like their teachers or the community elders talking about the project. So they don't think, because it's so patriarchal, they wouldn't think to actually interview a child. Like interviewing a 12-year-old wouldn't, you have to go ask them to interview, 12-year-olds, or you have to ask them to even interview women. So the information that comes back to you when I'm not there, can often just be filtered through this patriarchal filter, where they're telling you what they think is important rather than what you see as important. And it just makes it challenging to kind of do the job. And then even as a woman myself, over there, I experience the feeling of being the only woman in the room most of the time when I'm, going around to meet with government officials or, in other places. So that makes it very challenging for us to do our work. But obviously that's one of the reasons why we're in Pakistan, is because the country needs to do better on gender equality. So let me see, there's a bunch of questions piling up here. I'm sorry, I'm the only one reading them. I have this is a cute question. Do isolated communities have a lot of celebrations? Are they happy? Are people a little depressed? That is a really good question. I would say that I get the benefit of, as a foreigner, of being there when I feel like it's very celebratory. So there is a lot of celebration around having visitors. These are countries that all are incredibly hospitable. I mean, having a guest is a great honor. I mean, they will give you their last morsel of food. I mean, everywhere you go, you must sit down, you must have tea, you must, have something to eat. So they always celebrate when they have visitors. So it feels very celebratory. I think that they're very close, family knit communities and societies. So I wouldn't say that if there is depression, I would say that they have a lot of family networks to support them from feeling isolated in the way that maybe some of us might feel isolated. So I think that that's one thing, like you have an extended family that you're very close to, and that's a way that people feel happy and they celebrate things together. So that's really my best answer to that question, without being an insider. I want to see, again, I think I'm going to give Adnan some of these questions. I mean, one of our great donors, Hilla, who is on the call, who has supported a lot of the work in Pakistan, she's asking whether there's significant opposition towards education for girls in these communities. And I think that varies. But Adnan, what in your experience, if you look around the country, do you think? I mean, we are not necessarily in those places where there is a lot of opposition because we happen to have girls in school there. So maybe you could answer that more on a national basis.
Well, look, I think we are, like you said, dealing with a patriarchal society. And I think one of the challenges, as you mentioned, many challenges, but really the biggest challenge is ignorance that we are fighting. And it is those embedded values, which are, kind of built on this ignorance. And so I feel the best and most effective antidote to ignorance, and whether it's extremism or religious extremism or any of those unwarranted values which would say a girl cannot do this, or only a boy can, education is the most effective antidote against all of those, which is why I feel this is, because education leads to economic empowerment in the end. And when these girls start bringing in the money, suddenly they go from being, a not valued member of the household to become the most valued member of the household. And we've seen that with our students, and Alice can talk, I'm sure, give you many examples. So I think, that really is, there are many challenges. And why even just talk about Pakistan? I think we've seen, even Afghanistan, as you can see, the challenges we're facing. Maybe Pakistan is, those regions, they are not there yet, but there are similarities sometimes. So the fact is, we have the reason why this work is so important and why all your support is so important is because we are constantly fighting those forces of ignorance in these regions everywhere. And it's not easy, it's very challenging.
So we have time for one more question, and I'm going to combine a couple questions which are easy to answer, which are all about languages and languages challenges that I face when I go there. One of the official languages, you may have seen in the slide, of Pakistan is English. So it's nice because when you are in the major cities, most people I deal with speak English, so it makes it very easy to travel around. But when I get to remote areas and to the Gilgit-Baltistan, not only do I don't speak Urdu and I don't speak Pashto or Farsi or some of the languages that might be spoken, mainly Urdu, my challenge is more that they don't even speak those languages. They speak different languages in different villages. So the Balti people, for instance, they speak Balti. So I will try when I'm there to learn some sentences in each of these many local languages so that when I go in, I can greet people and ask how they are. And of course, they're all, very, very patient and kind when I ask, in my garbled language. But like so many places in the world, but very true to this region, is that there are dozens of languages spoken, and most people speak at least 2 languages. So I feel really kind of like a Luddite. So it is a challenge, but luckily I do have staff and people with me that all act as my translators, and then a lot of local people, like teachers, will speak some English. So unfortunately, we are out of time. I want to just thank you again very much for joining us today. It was really fun to share with you some of these great successes we've had. And again, we're just so thankful to all of you for being such dedicated supporters and making these projects possible. I cannot put into words the gratitude and the excitement of children when they get educated, and for women when they earn an income, and to be able to be the one that gets to hear the thank yous. I always feel like I need to pass it on to you, because you are the ones that really make it possible. So I'm going to end this with a thank you from all of those people, and I wish again that I could really take you with me next time, and you could see it with your own eyes. I'm going to pass it back to Salai. Thank you for all your great questions today. If I didn't get your question, please reach out to us and I can answer questions via email, or just give us a call and I'll get on the phone with you. So thank you all again.
Thank you so much, Alice, and everybody for joining our event today and asking such wonderful, inquisitive, engaged questions. So if you're not already a donor to Central Asia Institute, please visit our website. We have We have a link to the page about supporting our mission on this slide. And here too, you'll see more information about our upcoming events. Remember that this event today is being recorded, so if you'd like to revisit the presentation or share with friends, please look for the link to the recorded webinar and any follow-up resources for questions that we couldn't answer. We're having quarterly events, so please visit our website for any upcoming events. We have 2 on the slide that we're hoping to have you join if you can. Our next event is about our work in Afghanistan, and it's going to be a webinar in the same format on August 5th, 2025, and the one following is on November 5th, 2025, about our Journey of Hope magazine, also in a webinar format. So thank you again, and see you again next time.